This is Will.
This is Alex.
Welcome back to another episode of They Mostly Come Out of Me.
That's right, everyone. We're back.
We are.
Hope everyone had a good holiday if you celebrate. If not, I hope you had a good weekend, all that good stuff. You know the drill. Go to your podcast sites, your Spotify's, your Apple Music, all that good stuff.
Your social medias.
YouTube's our main source, so if you want to get all of the good content, all the episodes that you can possibly watch on there, because Spotify caps it at a certain time.
Including our upcoming live stream.
Yes.
On April 21st.
April 21st. Look forward to it. So not this coming weekend, but the weekend after. We're going to be doing 6 hours or how much we can stand of...
I am telling myself we are sticking to 6 hours.
We are going to do
people.
our best attempt at 6 hours.
For you guys...
It will be probably 6 hours. We will be playing shitty movies and just... Shitty movies. Wow. We will be playing shitty games.
Thank you.
And hanging out with all you. So if you want to come hang out, ask us questions, do all that fun jazz, come hang out. Come. It's a chill vibe, you know?
It's casual.
We just chill, play bad Play bad
Strike two!
Games. Jesus. That does not bode well for the rest of the episode, does it?
Here she is. You got one more strike, Will.
I know.
I don't know what happens then, but something.
I don't know. Who knows? Maybe I'll just fucking die.
We end the podcast.
Fucking Cobra bursts through the fucking door and just says you have the right to remain silent and lights me on fire.
I was going to say, you're a lousy podcaster. I don't like lousy podcasters.
I would really appreciate if you all went to Spotify and rated us, because
or wherever.
I don't know why, but right now we have a 2.7 on Spotify or something.
Are you thinking of Apple? Are you thinking of Apple?
No, on Spotify.
Okay.
I checked it today. We only have a 2.7. There's only 3 ratings.
So many.
So if you could go boost that would make us feel better too.
Or not.
If you want to. You don't have to.
It's a free country.
You do you, but it would really help out the podcast if you like it.
I would appreciate it, yeah.
We would appreciate it because we appreciate you. But even if you don't, we still appreciate you listening. So, without further ado, I think that's all the business. Do you have anything else?
That's it.
That's the business. Let's get into motherfucking Cobra.
You saw it. You saw it on the socials.
It was there.
And, if you know anything about 86, you probably predicted it. We love our action movies. We love our insanity. It is Cobra.
I even posted, if you guys follow us on Instagram or Facebook on our stories, little lore here. Alex got me the Scream Factory Collector's Edition of this a couple years back.
3 years ago, yeah.
For the holidays, and I fucking love this
here it
movie.
is.
It is incredible. It's so good. And if you have a chance, go check out the Scream Factory, because there's a lot of really cool features on it.
And it looks fantastic.
And it looks really good. It looks the best it can. It's a Blu-ray rip, so it's not 4K, but Also, I just really quickly before we get too far into it, I do want them to release the director's cut.
Well, the
unedited,
uncut footage, yeah.
Because this movie is supposed to be way more violent than it is, and it's already pretty violent.
Yep.
So
maybe one day in the future
they almost got an X rating. If you don't know, if you've seen the movie, all the times they kill the innocent people, like when the Night Stalker's killing
first half,
people.
yeah.
Those scenes were extended, and they actually showed them killing the women. They had to be cut because they were going to get an X rating from the ratings board. Apparently, that's the story. They were going to get a rating, and they also I've heard the studio wanted it was almost a 2-hour cut, and they had to get it to 87 minutes because the studio wanted it to be a blockbuster.
Which I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
I mean, rough or what do you call it? Work prints are usually significantly longer.
Well, yeah, I mean,
until they get-
there's a lot of stuff left on the cutting room floor. Obviously, studios always walk in, and when you're producing the movie and like editing it, you leave a lot of stuff out of the movie.
There's lots of stuff
just doesn't need to be there.
Yeah, it's considered superfluous.
And listen, this movie still is incredible without those.
Because as it stands, this is an hour and 27 minutes that goes by so quickly.
Oh,
There's no fat.
yeah, it's incredible.
And obviously, we love it.
I mean, yes. I mean,
Because I am trash.
it is getting more and more love, though.
Yes.
I mean, there were a lot of haters.
It has
of
a
this
Scream
movie.
Factory collector's edition.
There are a lot of haters of this movie, but there's also a lot of lovers of this movie. So we appreciate both. We'll get into why we love it.
Yes.
I can kind of understand a little bit of, well, I don't know. I don't know how you really hate this movie, to be honest. I get how
to me, it's
maybe you don't want to watch it, but like the hate, I don't really get.
I am on the wavelength, so to speak.
Yeah. Just so you know, I mean, we obviously will not be ripping this to shreds. We love it. So if you're expecting that, you can go. We have tons of reviews where we rip movies to shreds. Go listen to those if you really want to. I hope you guys also enjoyed Night of the Lepus, whoever listened to that on Easter, with our fucking incredibly bad audio. And just
It was an early episode.
Oh my, it's 22. Yes, it was really early in the podcast. But anyway, we'll kind of, it's going to be a rambler, but we'll kind of go over the basic plot if you haven't seen Cobra. I don't know why you're listening to this if you haven't seen Cobra.
You should watch this.
You should go watch Cobra. So oh my God, can I talk tonight? Sylvester Stallone plays Cobretti.
Marion Cobretti.
And
he is awesome.
And he is like a Dirty Harry
cocaine.
If he was even dirtier, like detective. No rules apply. He has his own moral compass. He's judge, jury, and executioner. He doesn't give a shit.
He'll do what he has to do.
Yeah, he'll do what he has to do to take down the bad guys. Like, he is a good guy, so obviously he still, like, kills the bad people.
Yes.
But it's very questionable how he does it.
He will kill all of them.
Yeah.
If you've seen Dirty Harry, you know.
Exactly. Like you said, it's Dirty Harry on cocaine.
Yes, it is. This is literally, there's two actors in this from Dirty Harry. This is literally Stallone's absolutely stylized to all hell version of Dirty Harry.
Yeah. And it's incredible.
And
I love it.
It's exactly what I needed.
So it's basically, they have, I mean, it's a really basic plot, really, just to kind of get things going. It's a guy called the Night Stalker. He has like a cult.
There's like a big, like, crazy, like, almost like
a 2-axe cult, man.
Eugenicist cult.
Well, yeah, it's like the New World Order kind of thing.
They're going to kill the weak.
Right. They just want strong, willed
people.
Well, because you get a bunch of like
strong men,
schlubby businessmen and punks and shit, like banging axes together.
To like, show you that this could be anybody. It could be anybody. It could be your neighbor, your accountant, even a cop.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and they have like people everywhere.
Yeah.
So it's mainly about the Night Stalker. He goes around.
Night Slasher.
Night Slasher, sorry.
Night Stalker was an actual. I'm pretty sure they did this intentionally, but Night Stalker was an actual, like, if you're into true crime.
Right, yeah.
An actual serial killer.
Yeah, that's why I keep saying it.
And I'm pretty sure they based him off of that.
So it's a guy with a really cool knife, and he goes around and he preys on women, mostly.
Mostly women.
He'll kill anyone in his path, honestly, but, like, it's mostly women. And he, like, hunts them down. He has, like, a database, and he finds them and hunts them down. We'll get into why he has the database and everything. Just because he has someone on the inside with the cops. Hunts them down, kills them, and then, he's trying to kill this one woman.
He does kill her. Well, he kills one woman, and then our actual main woman, she sees him.
Right, yeah, so the basic plot is she sees him, but she gets away, and so the whole movie he's trying to kill her. But being protected by Cobra.
That's the movie.
So that's the movie. So Cobra becomes basically the bodyguard for this woman. And if you've seen Red Sonja, it's the same woman that plays Red Sonja.
If you've also seen Beverly Hills Cop 2, it's the same woman as that, because there's a scene in that where Eddie Murphy's standing next to her, and they make a joke about how she's like 6'5", and Eddie Murphy like has to stand on his tiptoes in the scene, and then she walks away, and he's like, "God damn, that's a big bitch." But there's a lot of like recognizable actors in this, but that's the plot, and that is because if you notice in the opening credits, it says this is based on a novel. The meat and potatoes of the novel is that bodyguard stuff.
That's like the condensed the book is like a condensed version of the movie.
But Stallone took that and kind of expanded the whole like cult and cop stuff.
Yeah, because he has a writing credit on this.
He wrote this, yes.
Yeah,
he's the sole screenwriting credit on this. Which there's also theories that Stallone actually directed this.
Well, and there's also theories that it was plagued with like production issues and fighting, and Stallone was like had too big of an ego from him being, hot off the press,
Rambo and everything.
Like, his more successful movies. So he had like this huge ego. It said that, I won't get too much into it, but another thing I found interesting is apparently the extras weren't allowed to interact with Stallone at all.
Yeah.
Like they could just see him, but like
he's got to be in the zone.
Yeah, he couldn't do anything. He was method acting as Cobra.
Yeah. Okay. No, this is
like a don't give a shit detective.
Listen, this is 100%. We watched a lot of movies on this podcast that are very clear, like, almost like vanity projects, and a lot of times they're bad, like Leo Fong. Leo Fong is a fucking fool. But some people can pull it off.
Don't you besmirch his name. I know.
But some people
Leo Fong is incredible. So incredible they can't put him on the cover of his own movie. They can't put him on the cover of his
own movie. Not like this movie where it's literally him front and center. But this, I see that, and for me, it only adds to the entertainment.
I was just going to say, yes, it is absolutely 100% a vanity project. You could tell that.
Because another thing, I don't know if you saw it, because this is something I know beforehand, is this was originally Stallone's take. When they were making Beverly Hills Cop, he was considered, and this was what he wanted them to do. This was his version of that.
Can you imagine?
But they wanted something lighter and more comedic.
Yeah.
And so he said, okay, I'll make my own movie. Fuck you. And I'm glad.
Well, what I was going to say is it's a vanity project, yes, and Stallone had a huge ego, and I'm sure he was not the nicest person to work with on this.
And maybe he did direct it, because guess what? Around this time, if you've seen Rocky IV, Stallone loves his montages.
But I will be honest.
This is fantastic.
It works for me. The entire movie works. I don't care if it's a vanity project. I don't care if he was an asshole. It looks the movie. It runs at a breakneck speed. It does not slow down for 1 second.
Unspeakably cool.
The action sequences are so fucking awesome. And the death count is there. The
look.
You get a badass fucking hero that has his own like unique style and wears these big fucking aviators the entire
awesome.
time. It has all the recipes of a great like action movie, and it pulls it off, and it just has like great stunts, great action, great car chase sequences. Just it has everything you need in an action movie right here, right in your face. Just no holds barred, just adrenaline.
And it looks beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, we watched the Blu-ray version, but even if you watch this like a crappy version, you could still enjoy it.
No, it's This movie, I remember I saw long ago some review or something said that this looked like an anime.
It really does.
And I totally get that because
this could be an adaptation of an anime.
There's so much it's like every frame of this is bathed in lighting.
Well, because if you think about it, you even get like the basically no words spoken
anime protagonist.
The main character protagonist that's all cool. It has
badass
the sunglasses and
so
is the silent type and is just badass just by walking in a room kind of thing.
You take one look at them and you're like, yes, okay.
It's like you know exactly who they are.
Yeah.
You could tell that from the very beginning when guy's
shows
like
up
rampaging through the grocery store and they're like trying to like negotiate terms with this fucking guy as he's doing like a hostage situation.
And he kills somebody
and
too.
The commander's like, call him the Cobra. It's fucking great. I just love how like you immediately know his reputation. He like fixes things, but he leaves kind of a mess behind when he does fix things.
It's like shit's desperate. We need the Cobra.
And it's like people are dying, desperate times call for desperate measures. We know he just takes the law into his own hands, but fuck it, call him the Cobra.
But he'll save people.
And he does. And that like first scene, there's something to be said about a scene in these like 80s and 90s movies where some guy just rampages through like a fucking grocery store and just blows up all these fucking like products, and there's just
shopping carts,
cereal going
Christmas
everywhere,
trees,
like cheese curls like fucking flying all over the place.
Well, I love when the scene is happening because he just like they like the setup is so crazy because he like goes here and he parks in the handicap spot. He's not handicapped, but he parks there because he's a fucking psycho asshole. And then he walks in and is like shoving people. And then when he starts like shooting up the place, they keep intercutting with the fucking like axe gang.
You know what I appreciate with this, like, because it's all connected to the gang, right?
Yeah.
But there's no rhyme or reason. They're just there to cause chaos.
Yeah.
That's all they want. That's a perfect setup because you don't have to have a reason for him like going into the grocery store and shooting a bunch of people, right? He just wants to cause chaos. That's their whole thing, is to disrupt society.
Yeah.
So it's like the perfect setup for a villain because they're uncontrollable and you have no idea what the fuck they're going to do next.
But bonus, you also have zero sympathy for them.
Right, well, they're all gigantic
you
assholes
want them to get
and they
blown
don't
away.
fucking care about human life.
Yeah.
They fucking have no moral guidelines whatsoever. Their sole goal is just to hurt people, and you just want to see every single one of them fucking die. And you pretty much, for the most part, do. So, yeah, so, like, I also love the introduction, because when Cobra shows up, right? He goes into the grocery store, like, next to, like, the product placement Pepsi. Gets blasted a little bit, but then, like, is, like, thinking about things, and while he's doing that, he grabs a Coors.
Drinks it, and then throws it as, like, bait.
It just little things like that where he like drinks the beer before he throws it, and how he does like the laser pointer. He
calls him out for being a lousy shot.
Well, yeah, he like taunts people.
Gets on the intercom. He's like, "You're a lousy shot. I don't like lousy shots."
Because he's a badass, you know.
Yeah.
And you don't need no rules if you're Cobra. Okay?
Exactly.
You can do whatever the fuck you want.
Exactly.
But I don't know. There's so many like good scenes. Like, well, I guess obviously, like we said, it's like going to be a rambler, but like, that's one of my favorite scenes is just the introduction because you get an idea of like his reputation. You get like how he handles these kinds of situations.
Up everything.
And I mean, obviously, it sets up everything because that's what it's supposed to do, but it sets it up in such a good way
with minimal dialogue,
where you know exactly what the fuck you're in store for.
Yeah, with minimal dialogue.
Because, I mean, like, right after this is where he, like, goes and rams the other car to park his car. So he, but then doesn't kill them because they're not doing anything morally wrong.
It's fine.
Yeah.
And it's funny because they become, like, kind of friendly later. Which is hilarious. But the other thing is, like, you know, during that grocery store scene, it's like he kills the fucking guy. And then there's, like, just the shot of him, like there's like the woman cowering in fear, and just a shot of him like coming up to her, and like, you know, he gives her his hand, and it's like, you don't need dialogue, you just need to know, like, he came there, he saved him.
Yeah, like the only dialogue you get from Cobra, from Stallone, is him taunting the guy. Well, and also you'll notice, and this is a running thing in the entire movie, he has a matchstick in his.
If you've ever seen the movie Drive,
yes,
which I mean, I would hope you have, with Ryan Gosling.
Unfortunately, it's too good of a movie to be on our podcast ever, but it is incredible.
When that movie came out, one of the things I remember hearing right away was that Ryan Gosling and the director of that movie bonded over their love of Cobra. Ryan Gosling in that movie also carries a matchstick in his mouth.
Well, and I think it's
even the look of it.
I think it's a toothpick, but I think in the beginning scene he does have a matchstick, and it's like literally a direct nod to this movie.
It's a direct nod to this, and I would argue even visually, Drive is very similar looking to this thing.
Oh, you can tell like they were huge fans of this movie. So if you like Drive, you'd probably like Cobra.
You should check this out.
There's also like a bunch of setup scenes where I love like the weird, like you just get a weird idea of like who Cobra is in his like alone time.
Oh, is that about the pizza?
Well, yeah, because he's like
fantastic.
It's weird. Every time I watch this movie, I try and understand who the fuck Cobra is, because he's always telling people how to eat and how to eat healthy, but then he like portion controls, and then he eats an apple and calls it health food, and like
there's so many little
it's
touches.
Just like this weird like personality trait where he's like kind of healthy but kind of not. I don't
know because there's a lot of people mention this moment, but yeah, when he comes home after he shoves the fucking car of punks out of the way and tells the guy to clean up his act
while ripping his shirt.
He goes to his home, and you know he has all these like police files and everything, but there's just a box of pizza, and there's a single slice of pizza in there, and he takes the pizza slice and he takes some scissors and he just slices off like the end of it.
Well, yeah, I mean, this also is obviously a setup scene because they're also on the news talking about the night,
the night slasher.
I was about to say stalker
saying
again.
That there's no rhyme or reason to who he kills.
Right, they're just killing people at random, and
that he'll climb through people's windows. He'll kill them on the street.
And while he's doing that, he has an egg carton, but for an empty egg carton. Well, it's not empty. It has a gun cleaning solution.
So he can clean his pistol that has a Cobra engraved on it.
Yeah, of course,
because he's Cobra. That's how they start the movie.
Little touches.
The first thing you see in the opening credits when he's spouting off crime statistics at you, before he shoots the audience in the face, is you see the pistol with the Cobra on it. Which, by the way, when I first watched this movie, that's how I knew I was like, this is gonna be great. Is that they open this fucking thing with him saying like crime statistics and then shooting at the camera.
Yeah.
And the pistol flies at the camera, and then Cobra comes on the screen.
Oh, it's great.
And I was like, this is so preposterous that it's made for me.
Well, also the setup of the main woman in this movie,
Ingrid. Yeah. The montage?
They literally set her up in a montage.
No, this is
Well, it's just bold.
It's
like
so preposterous.
You introduce a character in a montage. That is wild.
Technically, they introduced her before.
Did they?
Because she witnesses the guy.
Oh, you're right. Because she's
but she's on the way.
That's right. She's on the way to the photo shoot. On the way to the montage
with the robots.
Yes.
And
because you're right, she sees like three weird dudes like on an underpass as she's going to this photo shoot.
And our main night slasher guy like stares at her, and she's kind of creeped out and drives away. And then one of them says like, "Get the license plate." Then there's like a scene. It's like on top of like a parking garage. I mean, half of the locations in this is literally just like some guy going, "Guess what? This is gonna look cool on camera."
Yeah,
because it's like they're all sitting there, and then it's just like the downtown, like framed behind them. But they're telling Cobra, like, yeah, we need you to like shake down everyone you know.
Yeah, well, like, we need to find out who the fuck this is.
So it's like scenes of Cobra shaking people down, and this photo shoot with robots set to Angel of the City. And it is glorious.
It is incredible.
Because they time like all the cuts to the beats, and there's like Dutch angles, and it's just...
And you don't get any like murders in there, but I want to talk about a little bit before we get too far into it about the night the night slasher like murders, because I mean they're just attacking people in their car.
Yeah,
they like attack like a waitress from a diner.
They follow her. Yeah,
they like smash her like window. Well, no, sorry, they crash into her, and this is also when we get an idea that. Because it kind of reveals one of the villains pretty early. Yeah. It's a woman that works for the police, and that's how they got the license plate. They were able to run the license plate for the model and know where she is, basically. Because you see her as they attack the waitress, and they murder the waitress, and then they also like cave in some guy's like roof.
No, they kill...
no, a woman's roof.
Yeah, she's like leaving somewhere, and they just like run up to her car and just start attacking it.
Yeah, starts like smashing it in and stuff. So it's very violent. It's very just random. And it just gives you an idea of like how ruthless and like evil they are. I mean, if you needed more of an idea.
You know what I love about this movie is you can take one glance at the dude who plays the night slasher and you're just like, that's a villain.
Well, like he like just exudes like evil. Like,
I mean, if you've ever watched like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, he was one of the main like bad guys on that in the early seasons, and he's one of those actors who like
he has that look because he has a really really strong jawline and a very deep like
monster voice, but it's like not even trying. That's just how he talks.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
But he's just
he's like one of those people that's like born to play a villain.
He's one of those people, like, if you saw him late at night, you wouldn't, like, cross the road. Yeah. You would just be like, I'm good.
Exactly. You're just like, you know what? I'm not going this way, actually. I'm going to turn around and go the other way. But, so we get, like, an idea of the slashers because they show a few murder scenes. Then we get the montage. We introduce our character, and this kind of sets up the whole idea of, like, how she gets attacked. Because it's like all this is building up to her getting attacked, and this is where she witnesses the murder. Because it's like the sleazy cameraman that's like trying to hit on her.
Like, I can help your career and
it's
all
like,
this shit.
Come on, I can.
He immediately gets owned.
Fucking, like, I mean, I'm okay with him dying.
They did that shit on purpose.
Yeah, because he's just like some sleazy asshole. He gets absolutely murdered. She goes like a cop. She forgets her bag, and a cop comes down. And
he gets annihilated.
Well, he gets rammed,
which is an insane fucking shot.
Well, because it also establishes that they've like armored their cars.
Yeah,
and so they fucking like ram into the fucking elevator, and they ram this cop into the doors. Yeah. And she witnesses the whole thing. She's seen his face.
Poor schmuck with a Christmas wine bottle.
Well, I love how he's just like this, like just an everyday businessman.
Yeah, he just sees this
that happens to be there,
and one of them kills him with like a giant hammer.
But and again, it's just all this is to establish how evil,
how ruthless
they don't care about anything. Mm-hmm. And so she sees it. She sees him in the fucking She sees his full face, and now she's the target, right?
Yeah. Because now she's at the hospital. The cops like talk to her, and she mentions that, like, well, I saw these weird people under an underpass, and they already know about the murders, so they're like, okay, probably them,
right?
And there's more than one because the cops think that it's like one guy. Cobra's like, no, I think we're talking about a big group.
This is like it slows down for like 2 seconds because it's like it sets up shit that she's in the hospital. Cobra goes to investigate the picture, and then his friend who likes the sweets goes home.
I love the little back and forth.
Oh yeah, because it's his like detective friend, but all he does is eat sweets.
He loves sugar.
And Cobra just loves giving him shit about eating so poorly.
Well, there's like the scene like after when they're on like the parking structure roof, and their like captain or whatever chews them out, and he's like, you know what I love to do? I love to punch a fucking hole in his face. And Cobra's like, you know what your problem is?
You're too violent.
You're too violent.
He's like, it's all that sugar.
Like, really? Like, coming from you? And he tells him, like, it's all that sugar. It's all that junk food.
All that junk food you're swallowing down.
You gotta eat some prunes, something natural.
I love the payoff even at the end. Like we said, this is a Rambler where he's like...
there's one thing
where
I
he's
really
like getting
want.
Loaded into the fucking like...
Because his legs like
ambulance,
fucked up.
And he's like, oh man, you know what I would really love? And like Cobra's
what?
like, anything. He's like, some gummy bears.
I think the thing that got a laugh out of me is later in the movie when they're like at like a gas station.
Yeah.
And it's just him walking out of the gas station and he has so much like candy in his arms that it's like falling out.
Well, because I mean, like it goes, like it's only an hour and like 20 minutes, so obviously we're already like halfway through the movie at the hospital scene, because the next few set pieces are like a car chase and then a giant like showdown,
a massive shootout at the end.
At the end, so it's like there's not too many like big sequences left. There's only a few. The hospital scene's pretty good though, because I love how
it's like a slasher movie.
Well, yeah, it's like him just like meticulously murdering his way into her room.
Yeah,
and then like tries to attack her. I do like what you said, where it kind of goes into like horror movie realm.
Yeah,
it almost becomes like a slasher for a minute, because
it's like interesting because the first half of this is almost like a slasher movie.
Yeah, and
then the second half is just a big action movie.
Well, it's like it's just throwing all these the fucking goons at Stallone and seeing how many he can murder
at the end. I mean, yeah,
that's literally like
90% of your body count is the last 20 minutes.
Yeah,
it's just everyone. This whole
it's a good payoff.
Army of cult members.
And yeah, he's just murdering his way. He tries to murder her. She like runs.
She pulls a fire like alarm
and gets away. So now they're like, okay, well, we gotta like make sure you're safe.
And Stallone thinks that there's an informant.
Well,
a mole.
Again, if you've seen any 80s or 90s like detective movies where they kind of like go against the law,
no one believes them.
You always get the fucking captain that yells at them and says like, "You're out of line. You're making this up."
I love.
At least there's no like, "Give me your badge and you're off the case."
That was low blow. Then low blow, he gets fired. He helps people so bad that he gets fired.
Yeah, because Leo Feng's the worst fucking detective on the planet.
I love when there's like this big scene with all the cops arguing, and because this movie's so like hyper stylized, the camera's like swooping all around them the whole time.
Yeah,
as they're like in this like room of glass. Preposterous. I love it.
It's amazing. But if you want to see the best captain, go watch the Last
Action Hero.
Last Action Hero.
If you
that scene is so good.
He's got fucking literal steam coming out of his ears.
I mean, that's obviously like a cartoon.
It's talking about.
It's like spoofing on this.
It's spoofing on this kind of stuff with the captain.
But it is really well done. I love that. Like the police station scene is like one of my favorites in that movie.
When he yells and the fucking glass on his window just shatters.
Mm-hmm. Well, also like I love the build up to that scene because you see like the Terminator from T2.
Oh, yeah.
Like walking out, and then you see like a cartoon detective, and
he gets matched up with like a woman or something.
Yeah,
like, this is your new partner. It's a fucking cartoon rabbit.
Yeah, it's so good. Yeah, if you haven't seen The Last Action Hero, please go watch it. It's stupid, but it's hilarious.
It's on point.
Anyway, back to Cobra. Sorry, I got kind of sidetracked there. I do love the car chase that happens like almost immediately after this. It's such a good car chase, and I love movies that you have to put your heroes and your villains in specific cars so we know what the fuck is happening.
You know what I love? I love the 180 during this.
Yes.
Because I love that this car chase starts with them chasing Cobra. And by the end of it, it's Cobra chasing them.
Yeah. Well, because he drives like a 50s, like...
It's like a fucking juiced up, like, 50s, like, drag racing car.
Well, I mean, even more to the point that Stallone directed this is it's like his car.
Yeah.
He owned that
Yeah,
car.
he owns the car.
And they made composite, they made extras so that he could crash them over things.
Because this, oh boy, the damage in this scene.
And it's like it's like an escort, right? Because they're escorting this woman to the safe house.
She's in the car with Cobra.
And then you have his detective friend and the rat in the other car. They get crashed into, and then the chase starts. I love the part on the fucking highway when he flips the car around, starts driving in reverse, and like blasts the fucking engine to the truck, and it just flips over and like bursts into flames.
Fantastic.
It's so fucking good.
My favorite bit in this is, oh my god, it's probably there's like a part in the end where they're going over like, it's funny because I've been where they filmed this. It's in Venice Beach, California. Mm-hmm. There's these canals, and they're like, if you drive, and you're supposed to drive really slow on them because it's like, they're like humps.
Right.
But in this scene, they're going full speed, and it's just them like flying in the air.
Over every single one.
Every single one, and they keep doing like slow-mo, and there's one part where there's like it's like a sign that says, please slow down, and Stallone's car goes so high up that it like hits it, and it like explodes.
Again, they just got what we want to see in an action movie.
There's also so many like, I don't even know what you'd call it, but they use like these weird like camera lenses where it almost creates like I don't know if you call it like a fisheye effect or something.
Almost, yeah.
But they use that a lot, and it always looks so cool.
Incredible. Everything in this movie looks good.
Because every time, because there's a part when because he has a fucking like NOS in his car. And of course, you got to hit the NOS. And when he does that, they go like all fisheye.
Yeah.
As he drives away.
Well, and they go to like a shipping yard, and the guys get away, and they just like absolutely fucking wreck Stallone's car.
Yeah, he flips it into a boat that's like standing on like something, and he flips it over. Oh my god.
I love how this is all happening after the woman just got out of the hospital too.
It's immediate.
And they're like all banged up and shit.
It's immediate.
So they I can't remember how they get there, but they go to the motel.
Because they end up, I think they have like a big meeting, and they all decide like we're gonna like take her out of the city.
Well, they got to get like, they're just going as far away as possible.
Yeah. Because
the trial there's like some vague trial that's gonna happen, and she's gonna like testify that this guy is because it comes sorry. It kind of comes into play when he's at the end, when the villain's like, "You can't shoot me, like you're
murders against the law."
Murders against the law.
But yeah, they go like out, and we get another like fucking
montage.
montage.
Watched, Judge Dredd, because Stallone is the law.
How fitting, Will. But we get another like montage of like all the fucking killers like getting ready. Getting all their fucking guns ready as they're driving out of the city.
Well, yeah, and we also get like certain. Well, I mean, it was more in the beginning, but we get another shot of it where he's just like sharpening his knife, getting ready for all this. The
fucking villain knife, yeah.
God, sorry.
But they go to like
nasal issues.
They end up going to a motel, and the whole time, you know, the like snitch.
Well, the snitch is acting all weird because she keeps doing the payphones. And playing with a comb, and you've seen her playing with the comb before, like in the beginning of the first murder, she was like stressing on a comb,
yeah,
like a comb brush,
little stress thing,
yeah, and so you get an idea of like that Cobra's kind of on to her, but not really, because he keeps seeing like how weird she's being. And then, of course, you get the romance scene with them kissing. And
This all takes like 3 minutes.
Yeah, I do like the scene of him setting up his laser pointer, though.
Well,
because remember, we had...
It's efficient.
In Friday the 13th, Part 6, we had a laser pointer. But that was for comedic effect. This is for
legit.
Absolute annihilation.
It's for annihilation
of the goons.
And for an incredible... He
actually gets to use his laser pointer.
It is. It's also for an incredible shot composition at the very end of the movie.
Yes.
But yeah, he sets it up, and even before this, I love the bit when they're in like this little like restaurant, and he's like disgusted by how much ketchup she's put on her fries.
This is what I'm saying. He has like weird like health personality.
He just like looks at her fries and he's like, "Do you need a life preserver?" She's like, "What? What do you mean? Your fries are drowning." And they like talk a little, and then she puts even more ketchup on there.
He's like disgusted.
And he just like looks at her like, "What the hell?
What the hell are you doing?"
But yeah, he like puts together his gun and he lays out like his grenades on the table, while we see like the army of fucking cult members on motorcycles.
Yeah,
driving there.
Well, and of course, you're just what's gonna happen.
Oh yeah.
It's just going to be an all-out fucking shootout.
And it's immediate, because, they, like, talk, they kiss. It's the morning. They're leaving, and immediately...
Well, and the rat is gone.
Yeah.
When you're like, where is she? And then she's talking to someone in a truck, and then everyone shows up.
Immediately.
And Stallone breaks out windows. He fucking, like, shoots all these guys. The stunt work in this fucking scene alone is so incredible.
There's so many people flying off of motorcycles.
Well, like motorcyclists crashing into other motorcycles and flipping, and they're like flying off. They're like being flown like feet in the air.
Yeah, especially when he like blows up the motorcycles. There's this shot in the movie that's like on screen for 1 second, where one of the guys has like a scoped rifle. And it's just like a shot of like Stallone, and then the scoped rifle comes into frame, and it like goes into the scope.
It's really cool. It's really well done, but they use it once.
It's on screen for 1 second. It's just them flexing.
I'm just like, that was really cool, but we never see that again.
It's them flexing on you.
So now they're on their way to the refinery, because every action movie has to have an infight.
It's an 80s, 90s action movie.
Or a mill, or some industrial
plant
industrial
setting with fire
and
sweat.
Heavy fucking machinery everywhere, and hooks and stuff to kill people with.
And your actors sweating profusely.
Yeah, because it looks cool.
But yeah, there's this part where they're on their way there, and he's on the back of this truck, and he's just firing at all these guys.
It's like a fucking video game. It's like if your main character was like standing in the truck bed, and they're like, just shoot the enemies to make it out alive.
Shoot the enemies.
The truck has a health bar.
Yeah.
And you have to fucking survive this
until you get to the next waypoint.
As he just like fucking... And they do this thing where they cut to the barrel of his Uzi just bouncing up and down.
Oh, it's so fucking cool. There's also this part where like one guy jumps on the truck with him, and they fight, and he throws him forward, and the guy gets run over, and then you see the guy like... a stuntman like rolling on the road, and all the bikes have to like dodge him.
One crashes into him.
Yeah, it's insane.
Again, the stunt work is so good in this movie. And so yeah, he just like annihilates all of them. They crash the car. They have to like fight through like an orange field.
Yeah,
or
it's
a
like,
lemon field.
Yeah, and then he like blows one of them up, shoots a bunch of them. They get in the fucking foundry.
Yeah, so he gets in the foundry. I love the foreshadow, just like the quick foreshadowing, because the fucking knife guy is here, and you just see these giant hooks like flashing by,
going
his
past him
face. And you're like,
There's fire.
I have to
everywhere.
love it. It's like kind of a montage of Stallone absolutely murdering people in here.
Yeah, basically like he rigs a grenade to shoot it, blow 2 guys up. He tricks one of them with his laser pointer.
Yeah, and then like murders him with his own knife.
There's a...
And then he also like...
he lights one of them on.
Well, because he lures him into this like hallway where they do like a... like like flame shit. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't work in a foundry. So.
And he like cranks it up and like lights him on fire.
Yeah. But see, my favorite part is because you see he has a matchstick in his mouth for the whole movie.
Yeah.
There's very few scenes without the matchstick, and you wonder is that just to look cool?
It's like an aesthetic thing, right?
Or is that going to pay off? Because it could be aesthetic. That's fine. And, he's walking on this, like, catwalk, and these barrels. And he knocks one of the guys is about to, he hears him, and he's about to shoot him, and Stallone knocks it over, and it pours some sort of liquid all over him. And the guy's, like, screaming because he gets in his eyes, and he's just screaming, and you just see, like, Stallone saying, "You have the right to remain silent." And he takes the fucking match and lights it on his pistol.
I love how they give like one of the coolest one-liners to like some throwaway
some
fucking
goon.
Like, goon with a sniper rifle. Like they're just like, yeah, whatever, just like use that. Who cares?
We have to finally pay off this thing that we've been seeing since the beginning of the movie.
I mean, listen, they did a great job with it. I'm just saying it's kind of funny that
incredible.
They use it there.
It's incredible. But that is the last person he kills before...
Oh, and I'm sorry. He did use the one-liner, "You're the disease, I'm the cure," to the
right at the beginning,
the guy in the grocery store.
Which is on the poster.
Yep. Now we get... I mean, we also get a good one-liner with the night slasher.
No, this is... Oh, this scene's so cool. So it's like, it's just them... It's them two and the like snitch woman, but the night slasher he has like a shotgun. He has his knife, and he's just like he's doing this speech about like how like
where he's like basically saying like you can't do anything, pig.
Like this is the new world. Like you can't stop us. Like we kill the weak. So the strong live on, and like we are the future.
But there's this part where
he Stallone's like, "No, you're history," and he points his like laser gun at him, and he like holds the knife,
and it reflects back on Stallone's eye.
And
so we also get like the snitch woman attacks Stallone, and before the guy can fire his shotgun, he like shields himself with her, and she dies.
But that's also where he tells him like, you have to take me in.
Yeah, like, you have to take me to court. Court is civilized.
Like,
pig.
They'll say I'm insane. I'll be out.
I wrote it down.
The court is civilized.
Because Night Slasher says, "The court is civilized, isn't it, pig?"
And when he said, I love, like, because it's like this close-up of his face with fire behind it.
Yeah.
And when he says pig, it's like...
He just spits like this
so
fucking, like...
extra.
Like, waterfall.
I fucking love it. And the whole time, both actors are like... There's sweat just dripping down.
It's not even like a little sweat. It's like profusely fucking
It's like
sweating.
they told whoever runs this place, crank the fucking temperature.
Just crank the heat as much as humanly fucking possible. Make these guys sweat
like
as
they
much
have to
as they
sweat
can.
Buckets.
And so, yeah, to that, this is what Cobra says.
Yes.
With the fucking laser pointer, like, in his eye.
It looks so cool.
He says... So, yeah, Night Slasher says, "Court is civilized, isn't it, pig?" And Cobra says, "But I'm not. This is where the law stops and I start, sucker." And then he just fucking fires into him. And then... Well, no, he doesn't fire into him because the guy...
The woman attacks him.
Yeah. And so they start tussling, and like the guy almost like jabs these fucking spines into his eyes.
He shoots at him, but he shoots the woman instead.
Yeah.
But yeah, they have like a tussle, and because his knife has like these fucking like spikes.
Yeah.
Where your knuckles would be.
Yeah.
And he's like trying to stab him. He's about to like jam that into his head. You get the shot of like the studs like a fucking centimeter away from his eyes.
Well, and then he gets the upper hand, and they start like fighting again, and then Stallone...
You see the fucking hook coming.
Well, and so does Cobra,
Yeah.
Cobretti, and he fucking lifts this guy onto this hook.
And impales him on it.
And the guy's like struggling to get off while he's like hanging on this hook.
And you see where it's going.
Like a fucking horror movie.
Well, it also is like... It's like a fucking... it's like this fucking cavern of fire. Like,
yeah, it's like this hallway of flames.
like, I don't even know
this
what
guy's
it is.
getting dragged into.
And you just see it coming. You know it's coming. And then, of course, he gets lit on fire. And then that's the end of him.
Yep.
And you have your classic fucking ending.
With the gummy bear guy and...
The gummy bear, and where the captain does the typical thing where he's like, hey, no hard feelings. And then Cobra punches him and is like, yeah, no hard feelings.
I also like the police chief. He's like, we're going to do anything we can for you. Anything you need. And he's like, well, I'd like to get my car replaced. And
It's
the
like,
guy's
well,
like, that's a little out of our budget.
That's out of our budget. He's like, yeah, I figured. And then he's like, I give you a ride. He's like, no, I got a ride.
And they just steal one of the motorcycles.
Steal one of the motorcycles
and
while
drive off into the fucking sunset.
Credits roll and 80s rock plays.
Yeah, that's all you need.
That's what you need.
That's all you fucking need. Okay? This is it. An action movie, like, just it's damn near perfect.
It's like,
I fucking love this movie.
it's the, like, you know, rogue, I don't give a shit cop movie distilled.
Now, don't get me wrong. I love Dirty Harry.
Yeah.
But I love me some just, like,
Insanity.
insane, like, scenes. Because Dirty Harry's a little bit more methodical.
Well, Dirty Harry is more it's more like a real movie.
Yeah.
This is insanity.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Well, because, yeah, it's like there's a time and a place for Dirty Harry's, but there's also a time and a place for Cobra.
For some insanity like
If
this.
you just need an insane 80s action movie, you cannot go wrong with this
Where
movie.
you get every scene has some preposterous insanity.
Well, there's, like, virtually no fucking setup. It just fucking goes. It just fucking is like, fuck you. We don't need a story. Let's go.
It literally just opens with a bunch of dudes in a fucking weird 80s music video warehouse clanking hammers.
I know.
And then some guy shows up at a grocery store and just shoots people.
Yeah, well, and there's no rhyme or reason for, like, virtually anything.
It's just, they're
So
psychos.
it's just a fucking vibe. It's just an 80s movie action vibe.
There are psychos in the world, and it's like some weird fucking eugenicist cult, and there are psychos, and we have a dude who looks awesome with aviators, and he is going to kill them.
Not every movie has to be thought-provoking. We just have to have fun sometimes.
Sometimes I want to sit and just vibe.
I just want to have fun with an action movie, and that's exactly what you get with this one. Is it a perfect movie? Absolutely not. Is it highly, highly entertaining? Absolutely. It is so well done for what it is.
Oh, God.
It's just candy. It's like a roller coaster ride, and I don't care. I'm gonna use that analogy. It's like an amusement park ride. You're having fun the entire time, and then you get off, and you can just go about your day.
Yeah.
It's great.
You can go about your day.
Love this
you can
shit.
go on it again. It's like, it requires such little commitment.
An hour and 20 minutes of your day that's gonna just go by like a breeze.
That you're not going to sit there and be like confused or anything. It's just simple.
Action. That's all you need sometimes.
Bad guys, good guy, cool.
If that's your thing and you haven't watched Cobra, please go watch Cobra. It's so good.
Like if you like Drive, if you like anime, if you
like 80s action movies,
if you like montages, if you just want to see some absolute well shot, stylized, preposterous insanity,
yeah.
Like if you want to see a movie that's edited and filmed like a music video, you need to see this thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cause this
well, I don't know, just like it all just works. It's just all insanity and it all just works to make it just, it's so damn entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not going to sit here and say it's like a masterpiece movie, but it's so damn entertaining.
I would argue this is a masterpiece of schlock.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Like just like schlocky action.
This
fun.
is a masterpiece of absolute deranged schlock.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. I think that's a good assessment because that's exactly what it is. And it doesn't try to be anything else.
Yeah, there's no... Because there are those movies that they are that they're schlock, but they think they're not.
Well, right. This movie does not try hard at all.
It doesn't try to be anything more than what it is.
Yeah, exactly. And that's all you need.
Because the effort towards the schlock is high caliber.
Well, they went all out with it. Because that last action sequence, every action sequence is so good. And again, I want to see I want to see the X-rated version.
I want to
see how much more insane they went with like the murder scenes.
I want to see what it was that offended the ratings board so much.
That's what I want to see. I'm really curious. I know a lot of people are, and I know this is not like an uncommon take.
No, this is
I just want to see that cut. I want to see
this is one of those movies
that version.
That every year that goes on seems to collect more and more and more fans.
And you know what? I think it deserves it. It's a good action movie. It's well made. It just works. Everything just works.
I think especially because there's been so much media in the past like 10, 15 years that's kind of like 80s nostalgia. I think because of that, a lot of people are seeking out things like this where it's not nostalgia. It's just what it is.
I mean, it came out in 86, so it is an 80s action movie. It is
like what that nostalgia tries to capture is here.
Exactly.
And it's so straight-faced and so insane that I think even in 10 years, this movie will be even more, like, it'll have even more of a following.
Yeah, and I hope it does. It deserves it. I think it deserves, like, praise. I think it...
Especially because, I mean, I think a lot of people agree with me that there's a lot of just kind of meh action movies. Things like this will always
You got to hold on to these kind of movies because when you have all these meh action movies, you can go back to stuff like Cobra and just have a really fun time for an hour and 27 minutes and just have everything you want in an action movie.
Like that, like when a studio gave millions of dollars and a big budget to something this insane.
To a vanity project that actually worked.
To a vanity project that 100% works.
Yeah, that just works on every level.
That you watch this, like... I think it was in our review of Commando where we said that, like, you watch movies like that and you just feel, like, amped.
Yeah, you just feel juiced. You want to go, like, punch something or...
Like, you want to
go...
Not
in, like, a violent way, but you want to, fucking get rowdy.
Yeah.
You just want to fucking do something.
Like, this is on that level of, like, you watch this and you just feel so...
You want to go, like, get in a fast car. You want to fucking go, like...
Do something awesome.
Do something really fucking cool. Because you just watched... And I'll admit, like, Cobra's a really cool character. Like, Cobra's it's so well done. And they, like... The mystique of the character is just so cool.
There's so many
this movie
weird
just
touches.
Oozes cool. It's a really, really cool movie.
We didn't even mention this, but, like... Well, we mentioned this during the movie, but not during the review. But he has, like, the aviators for so many scenes of the movie. And we've seen so many movies where characters have, like, aviators or there's, like, reflections everywhere. And you see, like, the camera crew.
Yep.
There's no point in this movie where you see the camera crew during the massive reflection on the aviators.
And it's your main actor is wearing two big mirrors on his face.
And it looks amazing.
And it's credible. I don't know. Just go watch the movie. Obviously, it's 10 out of 10.
It don't even need to say it.
Like, just go enjoy this lizard brain fucking ego trip fucking action movie.
If you have that little part of you, that little basic caveman part of you, this is going to tickle that part.
I mean, it's on rotation almost every year for me. I fucking love watching this
Hell,
movie.
It's Christmas adjacent, so...
Yeah, I watch this almost every year. I think it's a great action movie. I But I love 80s action movies,
Yeah.
so I'm a huge fan of this kind of shit. And this is exactly what I want from an 80s action movie.
It's great as a time capsule, but it's also just great as just like you want to see a great action movie, with great stunts, chases, one-liners, awesome villains, an awesome hero.
Cinematography's good,
Oh my God,
choreography's
this
good,
movie is
everything.
Gorgeous.
Everything just works. It's all just a nice, neat little action package that you can enjoy, that anyone can enjoy, really.
Yeah.
Like, I think it just is so cool that anyone will get enjoyment out of this if you even like action movies at all.
Yeah, there's nothing. That's the thing is, like, I don't even need to say, like, oh, you'll enjoy this only if you're like this. No, I think if you like action movies in general, you can enjoy
You'll like
this.
this, yeah. But yeah, go watch Cobra. I guess that just turned into us gushing about it because it's such a good,
That's what it is. What you gotta do.
well-made action movie. So now, as customary, if you are new here,
About time.
we do at the end of every review year.
Every
so
cinematic
we're
year.
We're in 1986 now. We're at the end of 1986. We do 3 categories. It's our little award show to the year.
Oscars.
Yeah, our little shitty Oscars to our little love letter to 86.
So every year we do this. We do a best of the best, a best of the worst, and a worst of the worst.
Yes.
Though we go in the opposite order.
Yes. So we start with worst of the worst, like the shittiest movies that we could not stand, that we will never watch again, can never watch again, and no one should watch them. Best of the worst is bad movies.
Most
that were,
entertaining
like,
garbage.
highly entertaining, and that we would probably watch again just to fucking clown on them because they're so stupid but so entertaining. And then, of course, best of the best is, as you guessed, like an actually legitimately good movie that we watch all the time.
Yes.
Kind of thing. So let's do it. Worst of the worst. I am still having a hard time with this one.
Okay. Well, I can do mine because I know mine.
Okay, you go first.
Okay. Well, see, mine, I didn't have to think about this because this just...
I don't know. There was 3 movies that were like really bad for me.
See, every other bad movie had some semblance of effort involved.
Okay.
My choice had 0 effort, unless you count slow-mo as effort. Twin Dragon Encounter.
Okay. That's fair.
Here's what's funny, right? What a perfect segue, actually.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about vanity projects. Cobra is a vanity project, okay?
Yes.
But it is a vanity project that I adore.
Low Blow is a vanity project.
Lobo is also a vanity project. And then Twin Dragon Encounter is also a vanity project.
That's fair.
Squared. Because there are twins now.
That's true.
So it's like, what do you do if you have a vanity project but you square that? Shouldn't it be twice as good?
No.
Apparently, in that movie's case, it's twice as bad. Because it's just 2 schlubby Canadian twins hanging out in the woods and having awkward fight scenes and riding on ATVs where they sit on each other's asses, on each other's dicks.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, and the music's done by a guy named Billy Butt.
I forgot about Billy Butt. That's right. Arranged and composed by Billy Butt. Okay, listen, you're right. I do want to say I agree with you. I want to give an honorable mention to my other 2 shit movies, and that is Journey to the Lost Planet. Is that
what it was called?
Or whatever the fuck that boring ass sci-fi movie. Battle for the Lost Planet. Because
it had too much effort. It had miniatures.
But it was so fucking stupid.
It was stupid, but it had miniatures. And it had the scene where the guy is in space and he has a list that he draws on the wall of every famous actress that he jerks off to.
It's so boring.
That's more effort than
and then I also want to give a shout out well, not shout out, but an honorable mention to
Dishonorable
mention to Sorority House Massacre.
It was bad
because holy fuck. But like you said, more effort. But
Sorority House Massacre, more so than the other two, looked like a real movie.
That's fair.
It was shit.
That's why I couldn't decide, because it's like all three of those movies are absolute dog shit. Mm-hmm. They all terrible. But I think you're right, because I think Twin Dragon Encounters takes the cake, because
there was just nothing.
It's just two fucking guys in the woods
with fight scenes that they filmed at normal speeds and then slowed down.
Well, and the villains are forgettable as hell. Like,
yeah, the villain is just a guy with a cigar that just like growls at the camera, and then at the end they get away. Remember?
Yeah,
it's like a cliffhanger ending.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
And I still just remember the part where they're in the freaking diner.
Oh God! Oh my God!
And then they're ordering food,
war flashbacks.
And the freaking idiot, the dipshits,
the milk and cookies.
Hey, give the little boy his milk and cookies.
You look like a truck.
And then they're like,
Big Mac
hey
truck.
Guys, cool it. Hey, give the little boy his milk and cookies so he grow nice and strong.
Yeah, his milk and cookies. Yeah.
And the guy's like, guy looks like a Mack truck. Shut your mouth. The guy's like, hey, you, driver. I drive
a Mack truck.
Maybe I'll drive you. Like, what do you say to that? You know what's sad is that's the most entertaining part of the movie.
Maybe I'll drive you, which is probably the most homoerotic insult you can throw at someone. Maybe I'll drive you. Okay. Just let that sit in for a second.
Let that sit in.
Let that drive in for a second.
Let that settle inside you.
Now let's go to... So, Twin Dragon Encounter wins the award.
Best of the best? Best of the worst, sorry.
Best. Let's go to best of the worst. Again, multiple contenders.
There's a lot of contenders.
There's a lot of contenders.
There's some fun
I don't know if there was some fun, stupid shit.
There's some fun garbage there.
Now, I had two contenders. Should I go first?
Go ahead.
So my two contenders, and you might disagree. So I was thinking like Truth or Dare, Critical Madness, but I don't like. It didn't make my top two. Low Blow is another one because it's like so fucking stupid and so entertaining.
But I help people.
But my main two that I kept going back to that I could remember a bunch of fucking shit from. I had three too. Because Ninja Terminator is another one where I was just like. But I felt like the clip show thing was kind of annoying. Like the
fact that it's not really a movie.
Yeah. That it annoyed me more than entertained me. So my two were Nightmare Weekend. Nightmare Weekend and Rawhead Rex. Now I'll explain why.
Interesting.
I know.
Okay.
Rawhead Rex because like holy shit. Like the piss scene and the fucking Donkey Kong effects and the fucking like just stupid bullshit that goes on in
Donkey Kong effects.
Well, because like he looks like Donkey Kong.
I know, yeah, he does. Jesus.
But I kind of like some of the effects in it, and it was like really stupid but entertaining in a really dumb way. Because they're like going for this like hypersexual like serial killer vibe.
Yeah, but kind of failing.
But yeah, really failing at it. But I did ultimately go just because I feel like I'm going to say deep down good all the fucking time now. I am going to go with Nightmare Weekend.
Unfortunately, Will, I 100% agree with you.
Because it's so ridiculous with the robot and the fucking...
Just all I have to say is just listen to our episode of Nightmare Weekend, because there is a point in the episode when I am explaining the movie to you and you snapped and you just started cackling endlessly.
Yeah.
And then while you snapped, I also then snapped.
Because it's fucking hilarious.
Because when you try explaining that movie like verbally,
you sound like a madman.
Step by step, you literally sound like you need to be in an insane asylum. Because
with the orbs that go into like
toothpaste,
The fucking robot that controls cars.
Jessica.
Jessica that has the Alpha 5 fucking voice.
The part where the guy's fucking the woman on the arcade machine.
Yeah. Like in front of everyone.
And then everyone's looking at them at the bar where the guy has
the bar guy's
the
like
drink with the sandwich. Where the bread wrapped around the flask.
Bro.
He's like, let me have my sandwich.
But again, deep down good. I will never not say that. Feeling real deep down
You
good.
make me feel deep down good.
As that orb comes out of the toothpaste.
Or the stupid, like...
Oh my god.
The goon on the phone.
Yeah.
Who's, like, buying the something?
I don't fucking know. I still don't really understand what the fuck the science behind all that was.
Dude, don't. I'm telling you.
Like,
I'm telling you. Go back and listen to our episode, and you can hear our brains snapping, trying to explain.
It's so confusing.
Trying to explain it because it's just impossible. It's like a child making things up as they go.
It's like they did the fucking like Doberman thing where it made it more docile, but then killed it.
Yeah. And then there's a satellite dish, and then there's a robot, and then the robot controls a car, and then the robot can mess with time and space.
But then there's two robots.
But then there's two robots.
And then one
And then there's an orb, and then it turns into an ice cube, and then the woman drinks the ice cube and dies, and then someone drowns in a pool, and then there's in the toothpaste. What?
It's so stupid.
Then there's a guy on a motorcycle who tries to rape her, and he dies. What?
But not before turning into like a bog monster for a minute. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Like, why?
Nightmare Weekend is a trip. Just, you need to go watch it for yourself if you haven't seen it.
You have to go watch it.
It is
yes.
fucking insane.
And if you really don't want to watch it, just listen to our episode because it's an all-timer.
Now, the hardest one.
This is tricky.
Best of the best, because we had some of my favorite like in rotation movies.
Yeah, there's
on here.
That's the tricky part is we are at that point where there are movies here that I just watch.
Because I mean, honestly, you got like Avenging Force, which is fucking awesome. You got From Beyond. You got Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. You have Friday the 13th Part 6. And then you have this movie, Cobra. And it's like, how do you choose between those? Like, Avenging Force obviously is like, it's getting brushed off. I mean, it's a good movie.
It's a great movie.
I love it. It's great. I love the whole, like, most dangerous game angle. And
yeah, it's timely.
Like, guy fucking murdering all the fucking racist assholes.
It's intensely satisfying.
Especially when he murders the white supremacist guy with, like, an African statue.
Yeah, by running him into it, yeah.
Yeah, it's great. So do you want to take this one, since I took the last one? What did you choose? Because I had a really hard time. I know what it is,
it's tricky.
I will explain.
It's very tricky. But
now, just because we choose one of these movies does not mean we don't love the other ones.
That's the thing. These are all fantastic movies. I think everyone should watch them. If you are a fan of action or horror, both, whatever, movies in general, you should watch the movies we just named off.
I think they're all pretty iconic, too.
Yeah.
I think pretty much a lot of, like, horror and action fans know these movies.
They know these movies.
So if you haven't seen them, they do deserve a check out.
If you haven't watched them, do so.
Yes.
But
what did you go with?
I think just because it is it feels like such a tribute to everything I love, I am gonna have to go with Friday the 13th Part 6.
Fuck.
Was that yours?
God damn it, we are so too similar.
Yeah.
God, there's no discourse on this fucking podcast.
It's just a love letter.
Well, I was thinking about it. It's a love letter to slashers. It's I'll say it right here and now. It's my favorite Friday the 13th movie.
That's entirely.
I know it's
entirely understandable.
I know some people would disagree with that, which is fine.
There's also a lot of people who will agree.
But it's such a well-made slasher movie, and it just envelops everything that I love about slashers in a movie.
Yeah, it's got the humor, but I love that there's genuinely creepy moments in it. It's just that like thing of like, just because you're making a comedic horror movie, it doesn't mean that there shouldn't be spooky stuff.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of genuinely creepy moments in that. There's so many, like, it's such a cozy fall vibe too.
Yeah.
There's so many just beautiful shots of like the woods and night times, and
Well, the location is gorgeous.
like the fog on the lake.
It
It's just like that movie. Like when we watched it, as soon as you put the movie on and there's like all those shots of the woods, it's like a hug. Just
I know, and I again, it also gives that feeling of like when you were in like summer camp, or if you ever did summer camp, or like just hanging out
being
with
in the
friends.
woods.
But like it really envelops that feeling. For me, the reason it's cozy and the reason it like kind of hits me so hard is it gives that vibe of like telling ghost stories at the fire, you know?
Yeah.
Where you're just hanging out with some friends, you're telling a story about a slasher in the woods and trying to scare your friends and trying to like, you know, envelop this like spooky vibe to it, right? And it just, everything works so well in that movie. Like you said, there's genuinely unique kills that are really awesome to see on camera. I know that sounds weird, but that's what you're looking for in a slasher movie.
It's a slasher.
There's good characters that you care about.
Yeah, the characters are all fun.
They're fun. They're funny. They're like endearing. I mean,
They're different.
the kids are like not annoying, and they even have like that existential crisis where they think they're not going to get out of there, and it's played so comedically, and it just works. And there's like that genuinely scary scene that I always jump at when she gets up and Jason's right at the window,
and they have that like tracking shot of her walking through the cabin, and he's just like following along.
It's creepy. Well, and also like that scene where you see the aftermath of like him killing that counselor in the cabin. It's so violent, and you don't see any of the kill.
Yeah.
And it's incredibly violent because there's blood fucking everywhere. And, you know, the fucking... I always laugh because it's like my favorite kill in the movie. The fucking... the sheriff getting folded in half.
Oh yeah, it's so like
folded backwards because it comes out of nowhere.
Well, because like it's just great because the sheriff beats the shit out of Jason with everything he can get his hands on, and it's still not enough.
And you get those like, you know, you get those annoying characters too with like the CEOs that are doing the paintballing.
Oh, it's great.
There's
the guy moaning about women playing his game.
There's so much to love about that movie if you love slasher movies or if you love horror movies in general. And
it's like a love letter, not just to slashers, but the whole genre.
Well, I think it's like I think the lighter tone, you don't have to like be as serious about it. You just have to like enjoy the movie. You just have to have a fun time. And that's what I love about it. It's just so easy to put on and watch whenever.
Yeah, it's definitely, you mentioned rotations.
I watch it every year.
Every October.
I watch it every year.
Especially like if you just want like, you know, you still want your R-rated gore. You still want spooky stuff, but you kind of want something that's a little more cozy. It's a classic.
Yeah.
It is a classic. The fact that it's the 6th film in a franchise and it's that good. It's also.
Now, I do want to give an honorable mention because I think they deserve it. From Beyond.
Amazing movie.
Absolutely incredible. The effects alone are just iconic.
The effects, the whole look of it.
The whole vibe, the whole pink, like, interdimensional space beings and shit.
Like, yeah, the sets, I mean, the acting, it's, oh man, how horny it is.
I just love. It's a great movie. Again, it's in rotation for me too because I love like horny, fucking
Lovecraftian body horror shit. Yeah.
I also want to give an honorable mention to Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
Again,
because
roller coaster.
I fucking love that movie. It is incredible. Again, with the lighter tone where it's like, but in a different way because it's a psychotic family.
But it's lighter tone, but it's still like
creepy and it's still well done. The sets, oh my god, the sets.
The movie is just deranged.
Yeah, and I love that about it. I would say like that's the only reason I gave Friday the 13th a little bit more credit is because it's a little more on the rails.
Yeah.
And Texas Chainsaw Massacre just feels like a fever dream.
It is a fever dream.
So
kind of like the first movie.
And then also honorable mention, obviously, to Cobra.
Yeah.
Because Cobra is like one of my favorite 80s action movies ever. So it's so good. But I'm just a sucker for Jason. I'm sorry.
Sucker for Jason.
I'm a simp for Jason. I love Jason, and I will never stop loving him. He's an iconic horror icon for a reason. Iconic.
There's a reason that there's that. There's a reason that there's over 10 Friday the 13th movies.
Well, there's a reason it's still popular to this day.
Yeah.
Like, people still know who you're talking about.
There's a reason that they just released a massive 4K box set of these movies.
Yeah.
That millions of people bought.
I am just glad.
Always be popular.
I am just glad I didn't have to pit Friday the 13th Chapter 6 with Nightmare on Elm Street Chapter 3.
You're lucky.
I'm glad that they are 1 year apart.
You know what comes in 87, baby.
I'm glad they're 1 year apart because that would be really hard for me because those are like two of my favorite slasher movies of all time.
Well, you're going to have a good time, Will.
I fucking love Dream Warriors. It is fucking incredible.
You're going to have a great time in 87.
And talk about lighter tone.
That too.
Yep. So, anyway, that was 86. Time to go back into the shit because we've had a good time.
Because we did change it up a little, our next one is a request.
Yeah, oh, sorry. My bad. Yes. So we are doing a request because we wanted to end 86. So now we're going into a request, which could be shit, could be good.
It'll be interesting. But then after that,
and then we're going right into 87.
We are starting new year.
Yep. And we're going to, as you know, if you've been listening to this podcast, can you believe we're 6 years in now?
No.
Fuck. If you've been listening, you know the start of the year is pretty abysmal.
We start with the most.
I don't know though. Sometimes that shit like comes out of left field in like the later half of the year too.
It might happen.
It could happen.
We might start off with some really
if we start out
entertaining.
Well, because I mean, like look at this year. We started with Revolt, which we liked.
Which was bad, but we did like it quite a bit.
And then went into like twin dragon encounters. So anything could happen.
It's always a surprise. Well.
Yeah, exactly. But I think that's it. That's pretty much it for for 86. We're going to close the chapter on that unless we get requests for 86 movies. But
obviously, which if you have any requests, please send them our way.
But for they mostly come out at night, this has been Will.
This has been Alex.
We'll talk to you all later.
Bye.
Bye.
Now I have the right to remain silent. For now.
I'm going to light you on fire.
Just for a week.